All right, keeping it going. They can be born again only if this ego dies. When the ego dies, they had an opportunity to discover the truth, which is that their God is a black man, black woman too. If they accept their God, their ego will automatically die. Don't that sound like the book of Revelation? Giving you a chance. It's the hardest thing for the vast majority of non-blacks to accept. They were raised by their own kind to see black people as inferior beings, hardly worthy of respect, let alone love or worship. For them to worship a black person is well near impossible. It's for this reason that they have manufactured every form of conceivable idol to worship. The most religious of them have concocted an invisible spirit god and worship this god in the forms provided by their various religions. The least religious of them have given up on worshiping any type of god at all and instead worship their own physical existence in the form of greed. They live only to accumulate as much material possessions and pleasures as possible in an effort to satisfy their greed, their insatiable god. They know deep down that this is futile, yet they'd rather worship that than their real God simply because he's a black person. Ain't that the truth? I'm going to read this last one. Those who worship a spirit god also know deep down that they're deceiving themselves, so they manufacture this god in such a way that he can never be found or known. Those who seek him, especially children who will innocently ask where God is, their reply is that he's in heaven where they can't go until they die. That puts the brakes on most children who then stop searching for the invisible God. That solves their problem of having to disclose the whereabouts of their spirit God. Just to make sure, they further add that if by some chance someone happens to see this God, he will surely die because his face is not meant to be seen. Okay. You got the spirit God thing, the one in the sky, and the devil in the ground. It's true, the vast majority of non-blacks just cannot see a black person, as equal. We've been fighting for equality for, but we never gonna get there because white supremacy was created at the same time mankind was created. So they're one and the same. It's like it's the fabric of their being to look at us in that mode. So I don't even know why we expect equality from these people. It's just not possible. But they're going to have to come to terms with it at some point in time. And they're going to have to accept what is the truth. And you don't have to believe me. I'm not saying, these are not even my words. This came from ancient tribal wisdom, initiated elders. Those same tribes where you see white people on YouTube going out to Africa, painting their faces white and everything, and calling themselves getting initiated. Those same tribes, same information came out of those types of places. So it says, out of all the things I said, I think the most important part for it is for us as black people, saying that if you worship a spirit God, one that you feel like you can't see or you're going to die, you have created a false ego for yourself. You have rejected yourself and you pretty much putting yourself in the same spot as non-blacks are by worshiping a spirit God as well. Also, the ones that don't worship any type of God at all and instead worship their own physical existence in the form of greed, only living to accumulate material possessions and pleasures to satisfy greed. It's another warning shot to not just non-blacks but black people as well who imitate that kind of behavior. You are rejecting yourself. That is not you. Stop doing it. You will never have knowledge of self. You will never find yourself. You will never be happy. as long as you continue to imitate behaviors that are not in alignment with your natural self. So all these things that they're writing about are a direct, finger pointing, at pretty much everybody. But it's a good, I look at it as a manual, a guide to follow, to know exactly what I myself, my brothers and sisters as well, can avoid, what we need to stray from in order to get to that knowledge that we seek.